Hello, welcome to episode 17, I believe, if I'm correct, if memory serves, of Yo That's Weird podcast with me, Sonia Z, and my hilarious, wonderful, amazing, stupendous new father of a guest, Brendan
That's
Donegan.
hey. Thanks for having me. Yo, that's weird. I like the name.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was not my first choice,
What was
actually.
your first choice?
Just, oh, that's weird, because that's like something I say, I feel like.
You threw some Philly in there. You were like, yo, that's weird.
I say yo all the time in other ways.
You do say yo all the time now that you say that.
It's a Philly area thing, and I say it all the time. I grew up saying it. Um,
Now that you say the title out loud, I'm picturing when I run into you, you saying yo a lot.
okay, see, and I do it to myself. I'll catch myself going, "Yo, blah blah blah," wherever we're
Yeah.
at. I go, "Oh, I do
Yo,
it."
I got you next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's classic.
yeah, nice.
um, yeah. So yeah, of course. Oh, that's weird was taken because that's kind of generic. I feel like.
Yeah, I
Um,
like the yo. Like you
yeah.
said, it's very Philly. It's very you.
Thanks. Thank you.
So now,
Um, no, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying it hits a nail right on the head. I think it's great.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. I appreciate you for doing this, taking your time out. You had a baby. When was that again? Well, you
Almost.
didn't. You didn't have one.
Yeah, I helped very, very little, but
Yeah.
almost 6 months ago. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's been wild.
6 months
Full-blown
ago.
dad right now.
I know. So I'm interested in the before. So that means whatever 8, 9 months before that was because we're in August, right? No,
Yeah,
September now. September.
yeah,
So he
almost
was
October.
okay. So he was born
March 24th.
March. I was gonna say February or March. Okay, I was trying to like just figure it out with just guessing. So that
Yeah, I
means 8 months before that was like what
think
April
July,
to May.
maybe. Yeah, I have no fucking
I know it's
idea.
hard to think backwards, but sometime early summer. Do you know when? Like, do you know? Did you figure out like, oh, it was probably that time?
I think we were banging on the 4th of July. I think it was a
Well, that should be a Bruce Springsteen song.
yeah, banging on the 4th. That might be a Bruce Springsteen album, banging on the 4th of July. It was very patriotic. I did it for the troops. And yeah, I think it was sometime around there. Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's cool to think
No
about.
idea. Yeah.
Because you've been with your girl for a while, so you probably just randomly, whatever, you're not paying attention to the day of the
Oh
week.
yeah, I just fired one in there. I have no idea what we've been together for 25 years.
Are you
It,
serious?
no, I'm only 30.
I was like, wait, what? I was trying to do the math. Did you watch me try to do the math?
You're like, holy shit, how old is this guy? Who is he? 19? But no, we've just been together for so long, like neither of
Yeah.
us really have an idea of how many years it's been because we worked together when we met. So we were
Okay.
friends for a long time. And then at some point we got together and then whenever we started dating, I have no idea because it was just like so loose in the beginning and then here we
Yeah.
are.
I got you. I've dated friends in the past that there's that weird commingled point where you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
So you never have an anniversary sometimes. I feel like that used to happen to
Yeah.
me
I don't think we've never had one.
because you can't pinpoint it. You're like, well, we had our
Yeah.
first date, maybe. Like I can remember that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
there's little moments, but yeah, I have no idea. Like it's not like when you're younger where it's like you make it official on a certain date. It was like years go by and we're like, "Hey, we're dating, right?" And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, we live in a house together. I think it's time to make this official.
Yeah, that's been my like, okay, when did we move in together?
Yeah.
When that's happened. I said I wouldn't date a friend again in the future because of that, but it works sometimes.
I like it because it's you know what you're not supposed to, shit where you eat. We met at work, but I'll
Yeah.
say I think it's good because you get to see a person's true colors. When you see them in the office, you kind of see how they operate with other people. You see how they handle stress.
That's true.
You really get to know the person. So it's kind of like you get a bunch of dates out of the way before you're even dating. It was kind of good.
Yeah, you get that get to know you weird. You're right. The thing about like stress, especially work stress, and then like them taking a phone call or something. If you or
Hmm.
and also I feel like I never really thought about it before, but that kind of gets rid of that. Like you don't have to listen to their bullshit work problems as part of
Yeah.
your daily conversation because you were there.
Yeah. And even if you do, you understand what's going on.
It's way more than just, oh, did Jack say that? Or like,
When you don't like work with the person, like, and they're telling you a work story, even as hard as you try, it's so hard to be invested. You're like, oh yeah, Jackson. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't understand. I don't know, but when you work there, I'm like, oh, I can actually contribute to the conversation,
yeah.
you know?
Um, that totally makes sense because I've definitely been talking to people that you're dating and like, what else do you talk about at first? How was your day?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, you can just tell they're just zoned out. And then women, I think, especially tend to get kind of like, well, why don't you care about what I have to say?
Yeah.
It's like,
Guy, girl, like work talk, unless you work there and you kind of have a grasp on like work talk it's unbearable for most people. Like it just if someone starts going into their job, unless you have a very, very interesting job, who gives a fuck?
yeah, that I get that. It's very mundane. It's like very
It's
just,
hard to ingrain yourself in being like, yeah, I think I can understand your environment and what you're saying, but you know, I don't care. I don't give a
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. I like the work gossip. Like I'll like want to hear people's like weird or like I was like,
That's juicy.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm all in on that.
like someone at my work like used the credit card without permission and didn't get fired.
I'm all ears for something like that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I usually if I bring up work shit, it's not just like, oh, my boss said this or that. I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
like, well, our tax returns weren't filed. So
exactly. You're like, oh, really? That sounds like that's inconvenient. But if it's like, hey, somebody fucking stole something, it's like, tell me more.
yeah, who are they married to? Let's go on Facebook and look at them together.
Let's go. I'm all ears.
Do you guys still work together?
No,
Okay.
we did for a while and then both got different jobs, which is thank God at this point. You can only do it for so long.
That's healthy for the relationship. My sister used to work, and my one friend would work at the same place where it was like a huge floor of corporate people. Is that what yours was like? Like a ton of people?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was like a very, fresh out of college gig that everybody gets. It was like a sales gig, and you all work on the same floor. It's very like, hustle, fucking grind sort of sales job. And it's like an open floor plan, and you work with a bunch of young people. So people, they always wind up, banging.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's what would happen at my sister's job too. Like married and married. And then there was always like the, oh, this person's banging that person's wife, but they're married to that person.
Yeah. The best part of the job.
It's daytime
But
soap
we had the
opera.
same thing. Like a lot of people did wind up getting married and like, start full families and stuff because you spend so much time there after years. Like you're like, where else do you meet people? Because you spend so much time in the office.
Yeah, you're like 37 at that point. You're like, well, I guess we're getting
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very common. It's like probably for the health of your relationship that you did both get separate jobs because I don't know if like whatever you're married for 50 years and you work together at the same place for 50 years and you like
Yeah. Once
just
the relationship starts getting serious and you're like, I can't imagine continuing to work there if you're engaged or married. Like it would just be way too, you can't.
you'd definitely be cheating. Like I get it at that point. Like I'm not a cheater, like unless driven to. And like at that point, I might be driven to.
It's too much. Or like even just fighting over like sales stuff and like you get home and you're like, I can't fucking believe that you did, like it's too much. You got to separate at some point. But it's a great place to kind of get to know somebody.
Yeah. True. So I was thinking about where like how you had a kid and like I know a lot of people with kids. I saw this article that was like saying or a headline. I didn't read the article. I'm that person today. But the headline
Yeah.
was like some guy tried to sue a hospital for make like 300 and some thousand dollars for suggesting like in not insisting but like really suggesting to him that he should watch a C-section take place.
Oh, what? Why?
I guess because that's the birth of your baby at that point.
my wife had a C-section and I was available to watch that thing and I did not ever. A lot of people do ask you that. They're like, "Do you look?" And I'm like, "Fuck no." It is amazing. Like they take their organs out and they put them on a table next to
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I don't need to." We know each other pretty well. I don't need to see the inside of you, literally. Too
Yeah,
much.
I no, I have watched it like accidentally on like a science channel, TLC or something when I was younger when they used to show like all kinds of surgery videos.
Yeah,
And even as a woman to think about like, oh, if I got pregnant, let's say, and then I had to do a C-section, that's what they do is just lift like this and just
yeah,
like you're at the butcher.
yeah. It's disgusting. And like I feel like it's a very like when you talk to the dads,
Yeah.
it's they try to big league you. They're like, "Oh, you didn't." I'm like, "What? I'm a pussy because I don't want to see organs. I don't want to see my lady's organs. Get the fuck out of here."
Are you like
I'm
a
like,
horror movie fan?
I mean, I like some horror movies, but
It's
I
gore.
definitely am. Yeah, like you got to be into the gory horror movies, but
Yeah.
which I'm not really. But
And I
it
am, but I still, it's like, ooh, and it's real because I've had surgeries.
yeah,
So
yeah.
have you ever had like a major surgery?
No, I don't think so. Major surgery. I've
To cut you open somewhere. No teeth. And I'm not talking teeth or like your hand. I mean
no,
organs,
ne
midsection.
never major surgery, never broke a bone,
Oh.
fractured my face one time, but didn't have to get surgery or anything.
Ah,
I don't
but you
think I
got the kind of diabetes you were born with, don't you?
yes.
That's how God got you.
Yeah. That's how God knocked me down a couple pegs. He's like, I'm gonna give you that type one juice.
He's like, you could just be a regular old handsome white guy, but nope.
I'm gonna make you 5'7" and give you diabetes.
Yeah, your blood tastes like soda. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got that type one, number one.
That sucks. No, I'm sorry because that's a terrible disease. But as a person who's had a disease and have a disease and surgery, it's you got to have
Yeah.
something. I think everybody gets something.
So I just got a new insulin pump and it fucking rocks. It's like the Tesla,
Oh,
like
okay.
the Tesla of insulin pumps. I didn't mean to come on here and brag, but I mean, fucking, it is awesome. It goes right to my phone.
Oh, I think my old boss at my old job had that because he was always getting the new fancy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, because you whip it out and people are like, "Why do you have a beeper?" And I'm like, "This is not
Beeper.
1984. I'm like, I'm diabetic. I'm not. Why would I? What would be the purpose of a beeper?" But
Yeah.
yeah, just a good old diabetic guy, diabetic bad boy,
That should be the title of your first album.
diabetic bad boy. Yeah,
It's
I
pretty
always
good.
say I'm like I had two nicknames in high school: the diabetic bad boy and liar. Yeah. Wait, what is what is the details of your disease? Was it a kidney thing?
Yeah, I was probably born with one kidney from a birth defect, but they didn't know.
Yeah,
So then I got a kidney transplant.
yeah, I
So
remember that.
yeah, so it's just kidney disease prolongs like or it just it over your lifetime it just gets worse. It's
Do you
progressive.
have to do like do you have to drink like hydrate like what is
Oh
the
yeah, I have to constantly crush water. It's so annoying.
I think I had a friend that I knew like back in grade school or high school who had a similar thing. And I remember he was constantly like
It's
just
just
crushing water.
all day. They 100 ounces a day is what we're supposed to drink.
Damn. That's why you look so young then.
It probably is. Honestly, people ask me all the time, and I'm like, I drink a lot of water.
You're hydrated. You got great skin.
It's I'm everybody else is 75%. I'm at least 80.
Yeah, I mean, there's a perk.
I'm one step away from being to the point where you're overhydrated and you die at
Yeah,
any given time. But yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm thankful. It's annoying, but it's like the only time it's annoying is when you're somewhere remote or like bars in Philly or anywhere really. They don't New York, they'll put out the keg of water for people to use, like the
I was
self
gonna say where
serve.
where you spend 90% of your time, bars in Philly. You're like,
Yeah.
could be
Like
inconvenient there.
I have to like tote a separate book bag with like 5 bottles of water in it everywhere I go. Like look like a psycho,
Yeah.
homeless person.
Whatever.
Like
Bobby Boucher, man. So wait, did you get a did you get a transplant from a donor or somebody that you know?
Yeah, one of my only brother, my half brother.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
what a saint!
angel, angel from
That
heaven.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. The like the odds of finding someone is so slim, and usually a family member, a full family member, they can even be not a match.
Yeah,
So
oh, that's incredible.
I know, right? So like, I know someone else, a guy, that actually is a his half sister. He gave a kidney to.
Really? So he's
Yeah,
got no kidneys? Wait, what's the math
no,
on that?
no, he gave her one. My brother and him both have one now. They gave one
Oh wow.
away. I have three, but one never worked. I don't think.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it just increases. So everybody starts with two.
Yeah,
And if you need a transplant, you can live with one, and so can the donor.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Are you guys?
I lived long enough with just one
Yeah, that's crazy. Did you not know for a long time that you had one that wasn't working?
until I was 19.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
pretty long time.
Yeah.
Were you fucked up? Like, were you just like feeling sick constantly?
Once I got to be that age where I like took care of myself, like once I was like out of my house and stuff, I was like, I'm too tired to be just 19. I shouldn't be this tired all the time. And I just went to the doctor and basically said that. And I would get random giant bruises on my legs for no reason and not remember like walking into anything.
Yeah.
And he was like, just ran blood work and was like, oh, your kidney's just off the chart. You're like stage 2 kidney disease already. You're going to need a transplant someday. And I was just like, oh,
Oh
no, okay.
wow.
Good thing I just got this job with insurance.
Yeah. There you
And
go.
yeah, so like, it sucks because I can't just be like a regular comic and just go, well, I'm just going to go work off and like not have any insurance and just, you know what I mean? And you probably feel the same way,
You know,
right?
I could not relate more. Like I feel the exact same way where it's like I'd love to be like, hey, I'm gonna put all my money down on myself here and bet on myself and be like, I'm gonna fucking just
Yep.
live in my car and
Yep.
do it. It's like I could never be in a situation where I don't have insurance or I might die. Like
Yeah.
the insulin cost, even with insurance per month to keep myself alive is it's insane. I mean, it's like a mortgage payment.
Oh, that's yeah, I've heard that it's really bad. And it's like they only they changed the laws for this is not a political podcast, please. But
Yeah.
anybody listening, no, it's like they changed the laws for seniors, but not like young people. And it's like, well, then you're born with the shit. Why should you have
Yeah.
to pay? My one medicine would be $500 a month for just one of the two transplant medicines I take,
Yeah.
anti-rejection, whatever. So I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't know. And I started working at a job after my other one closed down where I had like enough money to pay for insurance, but now I'm on like part-time hours. So I'm on Medicaid, which is like I can't make $1 more than a certain amount per month or they kick you off of it.
Oh, it's fucking bullshit. And
Yeah.
you're like, God forbid if like, you get laid off and something happens, you're like, I like I really can't like I'm screwed.
Yeah, like mine would be like I have to ask for enough money to go full time from part time to full time, which I don't really want because I want that time to do comedy. But
Yeah.
like even if I asked for an hourly raise, it would kick me into either if I only made $100 more a month, I'd have to just put that 100 right towards insurance and then have copays and stuff like that. Where right now Medicaid is like zero copays to go do anything that I've done so far.
It's such bullshit that like we're gonna give you some benefits if you're somebody who's screwed over, like of no fault of your own, you get this
Yeah,
kidney thing. And then they're like, if you start making a lot of money,
fuck
we're
you.
not
Yeah. Like, I don't know. We're gonna get kicked off YouTube for talking shit on the government way before we will saying fucking shit. So curse away.
yeah. Yeah.
um, so you had a story about almost getting a DUI, right?
Oh yeah.
What your story topic was? Yeah.
I'll say allegedly because I still do hold down that job, but I'll say just
Okay.
for just in case
Yeah.
anybody like
No
what
one listens to this podcast. It's like
this
two
is about a
people.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was at the old job that I had years ago where I met my wife,
Okay.
this corporate gig. It
Okay.
was one of those sales jobs that everybody gets fresh out of college,
Yep.
and you're there all day, all throughout the week. It's all you do. Like you're in the office, you're fucking. So it was so tough to do comedy because you're just
Mm-hmm.
fucking doing sales and shit
Yep.
all day.
I had a job like that. Yeah.
So tough. So all you would do, you'd work all day and then you go out to happy hour with all these, 23, 20 kids that you
Yes.
work with, get fucking
You're
hammered.
like
And
TGI Fridays, bitch.
every Friday we would go to this one place and you go for a happy hour. But I worked in an office that was in Radnor. So it was like on the main line, like an hour, and I lived in Jersey, South Jersey. So it was like an hour away. And then with traffic coming home, took forever. So getting blasted at a happy hour on a Friday was a horrible decision, but you just did it constantly. And we did for some reason every year on like Thanksgiving Eve, we would go to this strip club that was right by the office in
Wait a
Conshohocken.
minute. That's so
Yeah.
funny because I worked right by a strip club too, and we would go there sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, seventh heaven in
Okay.
Conshohocken.
Oh,
It's a
I've never been.
good people. And we would go there every year. I don't know why. We're like Thanksgiving time for family and strippers, but we would go there every year on like Thanksgiving Eve or something. I forget why. But anyways, so we go there after work and we get fucking hammered. And I keep telling myself, I'm like, dude, you got to cut yourself off after a little bit because you got over an hour drive home. Like
Yeah.
we all wind up getting hammered. And I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I decide to make that great decision to drive home. And so I gotta drive onto the Schuylkill. It's like the only way you can get home is
Yep.
on 76.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, as soon as I get in the car, I'm like, I should not be fucking driving right now. But I'm like, what am I gonna do? I can't call
Oh
anybody.
no.
So as soon as I get onto the Schuylkill, I get a flat tire and I'm
Oh.
fuck, fuck. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I pull over and I'm fucking hammered. And I'm like, I did not, again, allegedly, this is about it.
Allegedly. Oh wait, what time of day? This was like you've been at the bar for a few hours after work
This
or
is late. This is like
9, 10,
11
ish.
maybe.
Okay. Almost midnight.
And so I'm on the side of 76 and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, do I call my dad? But I'm like, he's gonna be pissed because I'm fucking blacked out right now. I'm like, I can't call AAA. They're gonna get here and realize that so I'm thinking through all my options. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now. And as I'm thinking about it, I fall asleep because I'm blasted. So I'm like, fuck. So I wake up to the sound of a knock on my window and I'm like, oh my God. I wake up like startled and because I nodded out and I look and some black dude is knocking on my window. Startled because I didn't know who the fuck, not because he's black, just because there's some dude knocking on my
Of
window.
someone, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, and he's like, hey, dude, are you all right? He's like, I thought you were dead. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just like, I got a flat tire. I'm just chilling. He was like, well, do you need some help? And I'm like, yeah, who is this goddamn saint? I'm like, I mean, I've driven past every single day. You see somebody with a flat tire. I've never
Oh
once
yeah.
to think like, should I pull over and help this guy? Every day I drive by people and I go, that fucking stinks. And I just keep on going.
I do this. I used to do the same thing when I had to commute real far out that way.
Yeah. I never would think to stop and help somebody. So this saint of a guy, he's like this young black dude. He's like, hey man, yeah, I saw you. And he starts, so I'm out and I'm out like I can't contribute to this situation at all. Like I'm fucking blacked out. And he's just changing my tire for me. And he's saying all this like prophetic stuff. He's like, God told me to just pull over tonight. I'm supposed to be here. And I was supposed like God put me in this place. I'm supposed to be here tonight. And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, dude, but I appreciate it. He's changing my tire. As he's changing my tire, another dude, Mexican guy pulls over. He's like, you guys need some help. It sounds like an old joke where I'm like a Mexican guy, black guy, white guy, to a
Yeah.
bar. And he pulls over. So he starts helping us too. He's like, I saw you guys thought you could use some help. These two guys, these two saints are changing my tire for me. I'm like throwing up on the side of the road. Like, Thank you guys. And they change the tire, and I'm like, and the one dude comes over, he's like, hey man, are you a little drunk right now? And I'm like, I had a couple of drinks, but I'm totally fine. And he was like, here's a water, like sober up, take your time. I'm like, dude, these guys are incredible. So he keeps saying like really like godlike that like I was supposed to be here and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how to repay you or thank you. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I could pay it forward someday. Like put your number in my phone and maybe I can pay you back somehow at some point. And he puts his number in my phone. And somehow by the grace of God, I get home. I'm like, I wake up the next morning, I look out at my car, I'm parked like halfway on the lawn, fucking mess. And thank God I get home safely. So I'm like, oh my God, never again. I'm like, let me text that guy and thank him. So I look in my phone to see what his name was. And he put his name in my phone, DJ Rio, with a bunch of fire flame emojis and like music emojis. Like, this is DJ Rio. So I text him like this nice thing. I'm like, thank you so much. Like, I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. Just never answered, never heard from that guy ever again. I think it might have been my guardian angel, DJ Rio, just saved my fucking shit. And I never ever heard from him or saw him again.
Listen,
Wow.
I feel like you're a good Irish Catholic boy.
It was like
um,
I was like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, and I had some God sent down this guardian angel named DJ Rio,
yo,
some young
well,
fucking changed my tire.
look, just because some of God's angels came here to be comedians on the earth this time
Yeah,
around does not mean that they don't deserve the protection afforded by that.
that's right. This
uh,
guy saved me. He's a hero.
I believe that, like you're saying, like somehow that guy just ended up there and he got his intuition and his said head was like, I need to help this person.
Dude,
I
it just let my dog go.
I know, I get it. The pets, the cat was over by the door earlier and I just shot him a look like, don't you dare scratch at that door. It's not even my
Yeah,
cat. He's just in here, but
he'll be in and
um,
out this whole time. He's so
yeah,
annoying. But
cats
yeah,
are,
like one of those things where I think about where I'm like, and it was just so weird. He never even answered. I'm like, was that guy even real? Did
yeah.
I dream this?
You may have timeline shifted since then, and he does not exist in this. He's back there in whatever timeline that was,
Yeah,
helping out drunkards on the side of the road. What were you drinking at the time? What was your like go to?
I have no idea. I think I just had like 20
Just like,
beers and it was,
okay.
just all night.
Um,
And I think it was one of those things too where we go straight from the office, you don't eat dinner, and you just like go right to happy hour. So it's like you have nothing in your stomach and you're
yes.
just having
Yeah, like maybe some apps or something if people order some apps. I feel like
yeah. And you're like, yeah,
um
this ball should hold me over.
and you're I we used to do that after a job I had like we would work 12 hours 9 to
Yeah.
9 and then go out and like it was just
It's the dumbest
ridiculous.
thing.
And
Yeah.
like we would always drink like Jameson and like then margaritas and like all the frozen stuff so it's all sugary.
Yeah.
um
Which gives you the worst possible hangover. So here's another part of the story that I forgot. I'm obviously like wickedly hungover. So I wake up and I'm like, um, I'm oh, so this was the thing. So we would always do that every year because it was going to be a slow day the next day because everyone always took off because it was around Thanksgiving. So we would always go out and party knowing
mhm.
like the next day. But because they knew we would do that, they're like, you can't call out of work. They're like, you guys have fun, do whatever you want to do, but like just you got to show up tomorrow. So I'm like, I can't, I'm so hungover. So I call, and also I have a fucking donut on my tire. So I'm like, I can't,
I didn't even think of that.
yeah. So I text my boss and I'm like, hey, I'm sick. I can't come in today. And I tell my roommate at the time who also worked at the place, he texts me because he's already in the office. He's like, where the fuck were you last night? He's like, what happened? And I told him, like, dude, I got a flat tire, a whole thing. I forget that I tell my boss that I'm sick and I tell him that I got the flat tire. So they talk and she's like, oh, he's like, yeah, Brendan got a flat tire. Or Brendan called out And he's like, yeah, he got a flat tire. And she's like, he told me he's sick. I'm like, oh fuck. So I get back in the office. They call me and they're like, what the fuck happened? And because I had these two conflicting stories, but like I was so hungover the next day because I was doing all that bullshit, beers, vodka, so like you're mixing and matching. It was
Yeah.
such an
You feel like invincible. You're like,
yeah.
I can do this. I can be up at 7:30 tomorrow morning.
Dude, in my young 20s, we used to do that shit all the time where I'm like, God, that was so fucking dangerous and stupid. And like everybody in that office just did, we were just high functioning alcoholics.
Yeah, I mean, now we're just around comedians who are the same and we're driving, but we usually drive it like very late at night.
Yeah. Thank God I have like a baby now and stuff where I'm like, I can't stay out late. I got to do my
Yeah,
spot.
like
I got to the fuck out of here. I don't even have a chance to get hammered after a show.
yeah, sometimes I'm like I treat the transplant like a baby. Like I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. My kidney needs me tonight.
It does. Like we need to have like regular sleep schedules. It's really
Oh,
like
yeah.
detrimental to not. So it's like I just got to sleep sometimes. I
Yeah.
would it's also like it's just time management anymore. But speaking of time management, we got a few minutes left here in this first segment. I do want to talk more about your story a little bit because I there's like wheels that turn in my head, like about the how you said the guardian angel
Yeah.
that reminded me of the episode with the Trash Cast guys. Their story was about both of them were in a car together and they drove by a lady that like almost went off of a road edge, like a cliff off of like a highway where no one else was around. It was like super foggy and like bad conditions. Like the fog was the big problem. And I I was like to them, I think I was like, you two were like that lady's guardian angels. Cause they said she
Yeah.
was like hanging, like the guardrail was knocked and it was like hanging, like it could have fell over at any second,
Holy shit.
like to her death. And they
It's
showed up
so
and did what
wow.
that guy did to you, which was we got to help this lady.
Yeah. And like just the timing of that, like certain moments in your life you look back on where you're like like
Yeah.
the is that coincidence? Like it's just so weird the timing where you're like, if that didn't happen, things could be so different.
Yeah. Like really just that's what I like so much about talking about is weird coincidence, but it's like, is it a coincidence?
Yeah.
Or did the master programmer or God or whatever you want to call it, your own thoughts creating your reality, whatever you want to call it, it showed up right when you needed it
Yeah.
before the cops got a hold of you. Like, you
That's
know what I
right.
mean? Like when you said like almost DUI, I thought you meant like you got pulled over and got out of it.
No, I was sitting there thinking like, God, I'm about to get pulled
Any
over. And then
yeah, yeah, like a state trooper's gonna drive by any second and be like, "What's up? What are you doing?" Like,
they would like a 76, they're all over that shit. So I must have been out for like 2 minutes and it felt like 2 hours before fucking DJ Rio came and saved my ass.
DJ Rio, I gotta like look him up. Is he
I still
on
have
Spot SoundCloud or
dude, I still have his number in my phone and it's let me pull it up. I want to see how many fire flame emojis he put.
we
Yeah.
should pay money to get like a site. Oh, hold on, I'll let you talk so it will show the big screen. Go ahead.
DJ Rio with cloud puff emojis, two fire flames, two hats, and two sunglasses.
That's the best. Put me in your contacts ever. Like, let me put my number in your contacts I've ever seen
Yeah.
in my entire life.
I kind of want to text him at some point and be like, hey, dude, are you real?
Yeah, just be like, yo, are you DJing this weekend? It's probably like 10 million people's numbers by now. When was this? How long? 10
This
years
was,
ago or something?
yeah, this was probably
Yeah.
like 7 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Seven
So
plus years ago. So yeah, I should look him up. I should see if he's DJing anywhere local in the Philly area. We should check him out.
there used to be a place called Rio by my house.
This is his place.
um, yeah, DJ Rio. He's definitely on SoundCloud, probably, or he's just doing weddings. I don't know. What if
I
he's a
picture it with that,
comedian?
maybe. I picture it with like that classic, like pew, 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 pew,
Oh,
pew,
yeah,
like
definitely.
before any tracks. Yeah. DJ Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Rio. it's just like, yeah, you go, I'm
God,
sure like talking about an now, my brain's going like, what is this dude doing? Is he out saving lives somewhere on the side of the road?
I'm so curious. I never found out. He never texted me back. How do you save someone's life and then not text back?
Unless you, like I'm saying, he shifted, he left, he went to another dimension, he's off working for God in another universe somewhere.
He's in the Matrix somewhere.
He's embedded, he's
He unplugged.
enmeshed.
He unplugged himself and he
That's
plugged
act
himself in quick, saved me, and he's back out.
I mean, I think we do that. I think we all do that.
Yeah.
And so to be an angel who's been here multiple times over many centuries and many different places and different
I love it. That's my angel though,
that's
is like a local DJ.
that's what I mean. The comedy. I think that's what I was getting around to is like it's like I have guardian angels too, but it's like I had a flat tire. I was working for Instacart last year and like it was like a rainy and shitty and the order they would send me to a really far Walmart in North Jersey and then have to go all the way down to South Jersey because I live on, Philly's across from South Jersey over there.
Yeah.
So like it brings you back that way when you were coming home at night. And like I was like, oh, it was like this little Spanish man in a van pulled up because I was waiting 2 hours for like AAA, and the
Yeah.
customer's all pissed off, like, where are my groceries? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I have a donut on. I had to drive on a donut to go get my sister's car for that. But yeah, this little random like Spanish man just pulled up, like, you need me to change your tire? And just I tried to
Yeah.
give him like $20. He wouldn't take it.
Yeah. You're like,
And
who does this? Like, who just out of the kindness of their hearts helps someone change a tire?
yeah, he said he was a business owner. He's like, I own a restaurant. I was like, oh, I need a job. And he was like, oh, he gave me his number. It was the same thing. I put him in my phone and I was like, oh, maybe this guy will want to like think he wants to be his sugar daddy or something, whatever. And I text him like, hey, if you ever need a waitress at your restaurant, like blah, blah, blah. And he never texts me
What the hell?
back.
I don't get it.
It's just,
This
it's acts
is
of service. It's acts of kindness are not there. When God it intends for you to be an act of kindness, it's not for you to get something back out of it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the lesson.
maybe, but I don't trust that. Like, who does something without an expectation of something in return?
Yeah,
Anytime something for me, they're like, now you got to do me a favor.
maybe we're bad people. We'll come back on and talk about it. Just click right back into the link, okay? Brendan, the Dalai Lama says that if you can take a job that allows you more time, flexibility, or freedom for your family or your creative arts pursuit, you should take it.
Yeah. I mean, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, Dalai Lama. Stop
you
kissing
know,
boys. Otherwise, I'm fucking on
that's
board.
not him, is it?
Whatever,
He
his
did. No, he
descent.
touched kids. He definitely touched kids. Um, listen, there's still men that touch kids. We don't want to talk about it, but like,
That's all
let's,
really.
not, we don't, the guys who had the prophetic, really like spiritual, beautiful messages,
Yeah,
everyone died by 34 back then.
true.
Like, I'm not that mad about it because everyone
Yeah,
was like, okay, yeah, child bride was just a thing in the Bible.
that's true. A child bride that's 14 back then, if your life expectancy was 33,
You're half dead.
it's
You're
true.
my age
Yeah,
in
I thought
adult
about it that
women,
way. Yeah,
and they probably looked like grown men or something.
yeah, yeah, that's true. When you were 14 back then, you were probably fucking grown ass man.
Yeah, everybody was. They were.
Yeah,
They're like the people ancient civilizations lived in like shared beds, which they say is better for children's emotional maturity, but also like you're fucking in that bed sometimes. So they're like right there while you're fucking for sure.
right in the action.
Yeah.
God, I would hate
It's
being alive back then.
oh, I know.
I
So
don't even I don't even hug my mom. We shake hands like fucking
yeah.
business.
My mom doesn't even do that. um yeah, we like what's like no wonder kids could drink wine back then.
Yeah, they're fucking. Next thing you know, they're hammered on the side of 76.
Yeah. Do you think your guardian angel was like alive in biblical times and was
Probably. He was
there?
probably just popping in, helping out everybody who was wine drunk.
You're right. He can traverse timelines.
Yeah.
He can definitely be in the past, present, and future at once.
Yeah. These,
Um yeah, no, that got me thinking. It got me thinking about people that are protected by angels. I think that's a thing because I've had so many things where like I'm like I should have probably died.
yeah. It's
Um
so weird where it's like yeah, like if something's coincidence or not. If like you made a left turn or right, like things could just go so differently. It's or just one decision that you've made, whether it's like if you stayed at a job or like even like the last, the job where I met my wife, I'm like, what if I decided to not take that job and like we never would have met? And your whole trajectory could be different.
Yeah, butterfly effect stuff. That thought literally popped in my head as you were saying that sentence about if what if you never took that job? What if you just got offered two jobs right out of college and you're like, well, this one's a little closer to my house. This one, okay, and you just what?
And that's exactly what happened. I was working at Enterprise Rent a Car, and I was going to work there or this other job that gave me the offer. And I didn't know this other job because I had never worked. I was already working at Enterprise in college, and for whatever reason, I was like, I'm going to go with this other one, and then that changed
That's it.
everything.
That's it.
Yeah,
And like, if you believe that you pre-write your story before you come here, it plays into it because you found
yeah.
someone that you want, found your person and you're like, let's go, let's do this.
It's creepy to think about. It's like it's so weird to think about the chances of things happening in your life where you're like, man, that could have been so different.
Yeah, commonly thought over here on this end of town.
Yeah.
um, I can't have children. I don't know if I've ever told you that. So,
I don't know.
physically, because
I think you've said it on stage
I
before,
have.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, well, I can't because around the same time I got diagnosed with kidney disease, where they were like, you're gonna need a transplant by the time you're 40. You're going to. I was
yeah.
like facing that. And then I had a doctor misdiagnose me, which I've talked about on other podcasts, with basically what turned out to be a 2-pound cyst on my ovary, as just being like in my head. He was like, you need a good romantic partner.
What?
That was his diagnosis.
What?
Yeah.
What
Women,
school did he fucking go to?
it's this like heinous doctor. My whole family is just like the local doctor we all went to. And like, yeah, there's some crazy ladies in my family, including myself, you know. But
That's
had a
absurd.
yeah, I went and I was like, I have this weird heat in my stomach. And I it just don't know what it is. And it's not like
And he
acid
was like,
reflux. And he was like, you need a good romantic partner or to go enrich your life at the local community college, take some classes.
scientifically that means you need to get laid. You're like,
Yeah.
no, God, I think there's something really wrong here.
Look,
Like,
he was like, you
wait,
have hysteria. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I have like talking to a person long distance. Like I don't have a boyfriend. Like it's just this
yeah.
person. So like it's not like a regular thing to where I'm like when you have a partner, you're with them all the time randomly. I have had hysteria for 3 months now.
Man.
It's a true thing. It's a real thing. Like if we just get taken care of, we're okay, most of us.
Yeah.
Even the crazy ones, like coming from a crazy one. But
Yeah.
so like he wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. I also had an abusive ex-boyfriend before that I had just broken up with within a few years before that.
But how much of that had to do with the cyst?
Well, I'm convinced that like when you hold in your thoughts, it creates things in your body. Chinese medicine says anger hurts your stomach and like different
Well,
things like that.
definitely some truth to that. I mean, like, like even, I'm diabetic, like, and stress can do that to you.
Yeah.
And I know that like my blood sugar, like a good range of your blood sugar is supposed to be between like 80 to 120.
Yep.
And I remember they always say like stress can affect your blood sugar, but I didn't fully understand how much it could affect that until my dad died 3 years ago. And I remember I got the call that morning that he had passed. And I remember it specifically because it was like 8 a.m. And I remember I checked my blood sugar and it was 100. And I
Mm.
just remember like, oh, right on the dot, 100,
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, I got the call. So they're like, hey, you got to come home. You got to go to the hospital. Your dad's sick. So I go home, unfortunately he had passed by then. And then, so I hadn't eaten anything and I was living in
Uh,
Jersey City at the time. So I got there, it was like an hour and a half and my blood sugar went from 100 to like 330 and
whoa.
hadn't eaten anything just purely from the stress of seeing that. I was like, whoa, that's fucking crazy that stress really did that to me.
Oh, I didn't know that because
I didn't.
I had elevated blood sugar after the transplant because that happens a lot with the
Yeah,
medicine and like the shock to your body. Like they just say it happens. So I had to like pay attention and test myself for a while. And they
yeah,
gave me like pills at first and it slowly went back to normal.
yeah.
Um, but like I didn't realize that because mine was like right away after the transplant. They're like, oh, it's so high, and they acted like, you know what I mean? Like they never mentioned like, oh, by the way, stress can contribute
Yeah.
to that.
And I figured it could, but I didn't realize how much it could. I'm like, maybe it elevates it a little bit, but like to go from 100 to 300 is like insane.
Yeah, especially because you hadn't eaten, so it should have been like low technically, right?
Yeah. I mean, like it should have just kind of stayed the same. But
Yeah,
like really from that stress, it shot up that much. It was crazy.
yeah. People
And
don't realize.
I remember it went like right into my back. I felt like two like knots just go like my back just got so tight. And to this day,
Oh,
it sounds so weird, but like right in between my shoulder blades are just fucked because I just cannot.
oh,
I
you
That's
know,
just where I
actually, that
hold
is
all
an
my stress.
that's an acupuncture point, and you can get acupuncture, and they put the needle down in there. I used to go get it done, and it's really creepy. They like take a needle, and it feels like it's going like this into your
Yeah,
shoulder, and then
yeah.
your muscle goes like this on its own as it's expelling the lactic acid that can literally be stored in there for years.
Wow.
You should
Yeah,
look into it.
my wife does acupuncture, so I should do that because
What?
I
Your wife
yeah.
is an acu? Can I come over?
No, she does it like she
Oh,
doesn't
she
do
goes and
it.
gets it. I thought you
She
said she
doesn't
just
get
does
it.
it like her job.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I
But
know.
I would totally do it.
No, get
We
that. It's
should.
called trigger point therapy. This I went to a girl a long time ago, and my shoulders are tight right now. Everybody gets tight from like our human
Yeah,
American modern lives of being on computers and driving, and like we hold tension here. Definitely get try it. It's fun because it's kind of weird, and like it hurts and it bruises the next day, but then your
yeah.
shit is it's more relaxing than any massage
I'm
or
gonna try it.
anything. Do it. Do it seriously.
Yeah,
What? Try it one time. It's just cool when the muscle does that thing where if they do it right, if they know what they're doing.
yeah. As we're
Um,
talking about it, though, I'm like I'm positive that would help.
yeah. But no,
Yeah,
the stress response to your body is crazy. And like I've actually shut down like bitchy ladies at my job and been like, yeah, I don't do with work stress. My doctor says it's not permitted.
yeah.
Because it
It's a perfect excuse, but like, hey, I can't take your bullshit right now
yeah.
because I have a medical condition.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, I'm gonna have to hang up the phone now.
Fucking awesome. Like I can't medically speaking, I can't work with cunts.
No,
It's
your
awesome.
email did not find me well received today. My doctor says I cannot reply.
Hope this finds you well. It didn't.
We used to have this lady that would sign cheers at the bottom of
Oh
her.
God, you better be fucking British if you're signing an email. Cheers.
She wasn't. That's what I would say. I was like,
Oh,
only British can say that.
forget,
Um,
dude. There's nothing more pretentious than an email being signed with cheers.
it's
Fuck off.
and she was like such a bitch too behind the scenes. Oh,
Yeah. Hate
anyway.
you.
Well, I got an article here. We'll do a little article time for a little share screen. I got 35 interesting and fun alcohol facts. So I'm gonna share the screen here for a minute.
Perfect.
Um Now I will preface this by saying that they are not 100% like they don't look like they were all verified. This article itself is from 2017, I think, and then some of the facts are from 2009. However, I think we'll be okay. All right, 35 interesting and fun alcohol facts. Number 1, the word toast, which means wishing good health, originated in ancient Rome. A piece of toasted bread was literally dipped into wine.
Ooh,
Number 1.
that
Number,
actually kind of sounds good. Some toast and some wine.
yeah, like hot bread in the like
I
red
could get
wine.
that. I
It's
love bread and I love wine. Let's mix them together.
yeah, like I would even do it like put a little like oil on there too and have like the red wine oil taste. That's
Ooh,
I feel like
kind
I
of
might
want
have
some toast and wine right
I was
now.
gonna say what time's the state store open till? Um the soil of one of the vineyards in France is considered so precious it is mandatory for workers to scrape the soil off their shoes before they leave.
Wow, that's like that's the total. You walk into a person's house, they're like, "You mind if you take your shoes off?" And I'm like, ugh, "Fuck you."
Uh, that's
Sorry
like
for people.
yeah, or but the people at this place are like, take your shoes off and scrape the soil into a special basket. I have it saved. I have to save the soil.
Yeah, it's
um,
that precious. Wow,
France is so bougie. Their whole culture is so bougie about the fucking wine.
fucking French, dude.
Mine's the French Canadians. They're okay, still douchey, but
Yeah,
um,
worst accent of all time.
good one to make fun of. Like a funny one. It's like a silly one. It's like a Minnesota, like that
Yeah,
kind.
yeah.
See, speaking of the Midwest, in Missouri, anyone under the age of 21 should be careful taking out trash bags. If you're under 21 and you carry the garbage out, you can be charged with illegal possession of alcohol.
What?
Fucking Midwest, man.
God damn.
Everybody there is parted.
That's
Everyone
why.
there in their own way. And I forget that a lot. We forget that as East Coasters, that like
Yeah.
the whole center of the country is just dumb.
Yeah. It just makes no sense. A lot of those rules over there are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Most people think that drinking alcohol raises the body temperature. It actually lowers the body temperature
Huh.
because you feel warm, right? But I've heard that homeless people that drink, unhoused people that have to drink to keep warm, it makes you feel fuzzy and warm, but
Yeah.
it's actually makes your core temperature colder. I have heard that. The
Interesting.
it's yeah, don't drink when you're houseless. Um a little surprise, the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, was written to the tune of a drinking song. No wonder that's America's theme song.
There you go. Makes sense.
Makes
Hammered
sense.
Mary.
I don't I'm gonna skip this one because it's about an old rhyme. Um this one's interesting. Most vegetables and almost all fruits contain a small amount of alcohol in them. I guess because it's
Man.
sugar breaks down to alcohol, sugar alcohols, perhaps.
Yeah. You would think I would like fruits and vegetables more.
I mean, that's you like the fermented ones.
Yeah, that's true. That's like
uh
a 2%.
yeah. Thanksgiving's coming up soon. The first Thanksgiving did not include mashed potatoes, turkey, and all the other stuff we usually eat, but there was beer, brandy, gin, and wine
All right.
as they slaughtered the
Yeah.
natives. They were like, "We're drunk, fuck them,
Yeah.
kill them all."
Yeah. We'll forget about this in the morning.
Yeah, we'll bury them tomorrow. Uh,
Yeah.
Bourbon is the official drink of the United States. I'm a fan of that. It takes its name
Interesting.
from Bourbon County, Kentucky,
Really? So
home of the.
Kentucky bourbon is the drink of the United States. I did not know that. That's
Did
pretty
not know
cool.
it. You learn something on this podcast sometimes.
Educational.
The pressure in a champagne bottle is 90 pounds per square inch. That is 3 times the pressure in automobile
Whoa.
tires. And isn't like Mike Tyson's punch like 200 pounds or something?
Probably. I bet you Tyson could fucking pop an automobile tire. But that's man, champagne bottles, 90 pounds per square
They
inch.
frighten me when they go off. They make me go, huh, when people, because I'm like, oh.
Now, don't you always want to fire one at somebody right in the head? Like,
No, you'll hit him in the eye, Brendan.
yeah,
That's why I'm scared of it.
yeah.
Um,
Like a fucking
Adolf Hitler was one of the world's best known abstainers from alcohol. So Hitler invented being sober. I'm out. I'm back on drinking.
the fact that Hitler did that shit sober is pretty rough. You
That's
know,
fucked up. He was
if you're like this guy, well, I guess he was on meth the whole time. So
yeah,
that was
that's
he's like, I
true.
don't think alcohol shit.
And I
So
don't need any depressants. Yeah, I want to be up.
you're on meth, buddy.
Yeah. Sir Winston Churchill was one of the world's heaviest drinkers. I don't know how they
I,
measured that, but
I
the
heard that
long,
he got after it.
yeah, I mean, world renowned.
Yeah.
The longest permanent bar is 405 feet and 10 inches. It's located in Ohio, in the Midwest.
Damn.
um, the first recruiting station of the U.S. Marines was a bar. God
That's how you
damn.
get them. You get a bunch of young dudes to sign up for war. Hey, let
You
me
guys
buy you.
can drink. We don't care if you guys drink. Drink all you want.
Yeah. Here's a beer. We're gonna need you in Vietnam.
Yeah, here, have a couple more. You're gonna need these after.
Yeah.
um, the world's
How do you feel
oldest.
about slaughtering people? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I jump on people's words because it's the time delay sometimes with the
Yeah.
speakers. I apologize.
Zoom.
I'm trying to get better. Um, for the people not watching on YouTube, thank you for listening to the facts and me cut Brendan off. uh, the world's oldest known recipe is for beer. I had no idea.
A bunch of
Um,
alcoholics.
and now this is old. I don't know if this because, like I said, this article is old. It is illegal to run a tab in Iowa, Midwest. Get the residents say it's legal. So whatever, they're not going to count it in this article. But at some point, I guess you couldn't go in and run a tab. Philadelphians would never survive there.
Yeah. My God.
Um, United States has the highest minimum drinking age in the entire world.
That's weird. So it's like our country was founded on alcohol. Everything started with that, but we have the highest minimum drinking age.
Yeah, they started it out with alcohol. Then they realized that was. I actually saw a different article I was looking at where it was like at one point Americans drank more alcohol than water.
Damn.
So maybe they were like, all right, look, we got to dial it back. It's too
Yeah.
much freedom.
So one
Uh,
giant happy hour.
but I also, it's like important to point out that in other countries where they let like kids, little kids drink, it's the alcoholism is not nearly as bad.
Yeah, they don't binge drink because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is,
They're like, this is whatever. We have wine with breakfast. Who cares?
yeah, like we can have a glass of wine with dinner and not have to
Yeah.
get crazy about
Because it's that when you withhold something from someone, they become like, I have to
it.
have
Yeah,
it.
the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, the forbidden fruit. Speaking of forbidden fruit, brandy, rum, and whiskey, commonly made from fruit, usually are can be either aged too long or not long enough.
True.
True.
True
It
thing.
is estimated that there are 49 million bubbles in a bottle of champagne.
Who counted that?
Who did the science?
Yeah.
Human body produces its own supply of alcohol naturally 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. I had no idea. Had no
We
idea.
don't need it. We could be sober and still
Be so
get
nobody's sober.
no one sober.
No one's sober. It's a lie. Get those X's off your hands.
Yeah.
Um, beer started selling in bottles in 1850 and cans in 1935. That's not that long ago. That's less than
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah. We had some of our grandparents.
Yeah. In the 1600s, thermometers used to be filled with brandy instead of mercury.
Wow. That sounds wrong.
Like, oh, is that accurate?
Like, guys, I don't know if that's the right ingredient.
The term dipsomania, I never heard that term, refers to abnormal cravings for alcohol.
I've
What's
had
abnormal?
dipsomania. I'm gonna start using that. Doing a little dipsomania tonight.
Yeah. Is it like when you're at the hospital and your loved one's dying and you're like, I could go for a drink right now? Is that?
Like maybe it's like when you're going through withdrawal and you're acting crazy, like, and they're like, you know what? Cut Sonia a break. She's got dipsomania right
Yeah.
now.
Like that would be normal to crave it if I was like going through withdrawal, but like I feel like it's like and that's so strange. Like, is it the first thing you wake up in the morning? You're like, fuck water, you know,
Right.
with my whiskey.
Yeah.
I know people like that. Anyway, there is a cloud of alcohol in outer space, which is enough to make 4 trillion drinks. I don't know if we checked the math on that.
Yeah. Who's writing this article? A fucking 8-year-old?
It's an
There's
8-year-old,
enough
I think.
alcohol in outer space for 4 trillion.
Although I did just see a very strange article that I saved for myself for I wouldn't have if I would have read further in this list I would have put it in this one. How making they're stopping people from making HIV drugs in space because the proteins synthesize faster in outer space.
Really?
Yeah,
How
or
did they
something
know
like I
that?
don't know,
Yeah.
but they were stopping them from bringing them back into the world. They were making them out there, and somebody out there hates the gays
Gas
enough to
is
be
like
like,
$13 and they're fucking testing this bullshit in space.
like I don't know. Sometimes
You
where
gotta stop fucking around. We got real problems down here.
it's like I say NASA is the most bullshit branch of the government sometimes, and I don't know if I'm wrong. Um,
Yeah.
it is illegal to feed alcohol to moose in Alaska and fishes in Ohio.
Good to know.
Good to know. In some European countries, McDonald's serves alcohol.
I like that.
I like that. Many high school cafeterias in Europe serve alcohol to students who choose to drink. They're
See,
like,
and there's chill about it.
Spain, España is definitely happening. They're like, give
Yeah.
us a sangria with my tacos. Um, Distilled spirits contain no carbohydrates, no fats, and no cholesterol. So that's brandy, gin, rum, tequila. So
Hmm.
they're very healthy, is what they're saying, actually.
Yeah. So, all right. Good to know. If I want to get healthy, I'm drinking some
Brandy,
margaritas tonight.
gin, rum, tequila. That's why I always lean for tequila and margaritas, actually.
Yeah.
Get a skinny marg. Okay. A mixed drink that contains a carbonated drink is absorbed into the body more quickly than straight shots.
Really? I
I
wonder
actually
why.
saw in a different article, I saw in a different one that I was looking up earlier that it is diet soda especially makes it go faster. And I was like, why? In my head, I went, why?
Wow, that's good to know because I'm diabetic. So a lot of
Yeah,
times I'll do the
the
mixed drink.
diet soda.
Love a good DC, a little diet
Love
Coke
a
in
good
there.
DC and whiskey.
Oh, I'll crush it at DCMW.
um, so yeah. Um, Abraham Lincoln held a liquor license and operated several taverns. did not know.
Good.
I had no idea. He's a good guy. I like him. um,
He did some good stuff, that guy.
yeah. All spirits are originally clear in color. This the golden brown and other colors are achieved due to an aging process. That makes sense. I never heard of this French wine, Fat Bastard, but it is banned in Ohio and Texas. Now they're saying you can. I don't know if this one's true. Texas state law prohibits taking more than 3 sips of beer at a time while standing.
That's hilarious.
I
Like,
feel like that was in their legislature at some point.
and someone could shoot you if you do.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's when it has to do with saloon days. If you were standing up, like, sit down and chug that beer
Yeah.
like a gentleman.
Yeah. Have a duel.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms prohibits the use of the word refreshing to describe any alcoholic beverage.
I love that.
That was my favorite one
Don't you
when I
dare
was
call that
looking this
refresh.
up. I think there's only one thing in here I saw that I wanted to point out in this one, 30 facts about alcohol. Um, what the heck was it? Let's see if there was anything here we pull up. Archaeologists have found evidence that the workers who built the Great Pyramids of Giza were paid in beer.
Hey, that's like when you help your friend move and he's like, I'll give you a couple of Bud Lights. You're like, I actually did a lot of work here.
um, yeah, I think that was it. That was not that great of an article. This one, weirdest DUI arrests this winter.
Nice.
Nice. Since you had almost DUI.
Yeah.
Uh, this first guy, Norman Boiselle of Old Mystic, Connecticut, took a good Samaritan to the next level by calling police and admitting that he drove drunk. He made it home
Wow.
safely. He made it home safely, but not before plowing into a snowbank on the side of the road.
Damn.
Officers rewarded his good deed with an arrest and a DUI charge.
I don't know if I would say that's rewarding him.
Yeah, I'm going to read more, but leave us on big screen. The This guy, James Richard Green of Lincoln County in Oregon, had been charged with a DUI after crashing his motorized wheelchair into the side of a truck. He was drunk at the time, was convicted of driving under the influence, but he appealed on the grounds that he was in the crosswalk at the time, making him a pedestrian instead of a driver. The court
That's good.
agreed. The court agreed and tossed his conviction.
Wow. I'm putting that in my back pocket.
So yeah, I was gonna say, like, anytime if you're stuck somewhere, just knock a guy over in his jazzy scooter, steal it, and just be like, I'm walking home, sir.
Your Honor. Good argument.
You're being ableist right now, Your Honor. Woman arrested for FUI, forklifting under the influence. This lady in Cheyenne, Wyoming, was caught using the company forklift to move her own van because it was blocking her driveway. They found an empty bottle. What'd you say?
That's hilarious that she got caught hammered on a forklift. Like, I got it, fellas.
I got this. I got it. Beep. um, they found an empty bottle of beer in the cab, and she blew a .126.
Damn.
Yeah, she was. Oh, actually, she was already out of jail on bond. One of the conditions of her release being to not be arrested.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty big piece of being let out on bail. They're like, listen, you
Yeah,
can't get arrested again. It's
yeah.
like these guys are sticklers.
Have you ever done a breathalyzer?
No, thank God. Have
I
you?
had. I did. I think I told it on a different episode, but I used to practice at a band studio, like right down the street, and we would be there till all hours in the morning. And
Yeah.
driving back one night, I had just chugged like this much of the bottom of a water bottle here of Mad Elf. Do you know that?
Yeah, it's super high
It's
percentage.
like, yeah, it's like 9 or 10 or some 11. It might even be
Yeah.
11. So like
It might, yeah.
one, yeah, one, I'm pretty toasted. So I had drank 3/4 of it, and I just like, counted the rest, got in my car. I literally live 2.5 miles from this place. It's 3:30 in the morning. It's like no one's around. It's
Yeah.
very quiet, and so I just was like coming back my normal way that I would always leave the studio, come back out the main road, get back and then cut through my neighborhood from the back way, which like exits from a main road. And I, just like all of a sudden, just like, oops, saw the lights. I went, oh fuck.
Damn.
And I was just like, then he came up like, oh, did you know, you didn't stop all the way at the stop sign? And, I'm sorry. I was just like trying to get home. I was whatever. And oh, you've been drinking? I go, oh shit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had one beer. It was a Mad Elf, blah blah blah, and
Oh,
then like But before that, he had actually he'd been like, all right, well, I'm gonna give you a breathalyzer. But then like as I was doing it, he like we're talking more and he's waiting for like the results to pop up and he goes, oh, you blew like a point 0.5.
Oh
And
my
I was
gosh.
like, or 0.05, whatever it is, over the legal limit. And
Yeah.
like I was like, oh, I literally I told him the story. I go, I literally just crushed the bottom of this beer. It's probably like, I just, and he was like, where'd you get that at? And I was like, oh, the whatever tavern, wherever we had gotten it. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna let you go since you live right down the street. Just get home.
What a
But
shitty cop, but what an awesome guy.
I love when it's like a young cop, honestly, because old cops don't go for it most of the time. They're just pissed off at life.
Oh yeah. They've seen everything. That's hilarious that he's like, you blew above the legal limit, but look, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, it's like you knew craft beer knowledge, so you
He's like,
seem
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
He was like, you
That's
don't seem that drunk for drinking Mad Elf, probably in his head. He probably went, and she probably did just only have like one of these.
wow.
But good old Mad Elf. Yeah, I don't know. I one time blacked out. Did you ever black out?
Yeah, one time on the side of 76.
Yeah, right. Okay. Fair. Fair.
Yeah,
I
most of my 20s was completely blacked out.
yeah, I don't black out when I drink. I think it's like a DNA thing, to be honest.
Damn, that's like a superpower.
It was literally I was drinking grain was the only time I grain and Diet Coke. It was grain with Diet Coke chasers. Wait
Like,
a
damn,
minute.
it hits you so quick because
No
the DC.
wonder. I almost
Damn,
walked off a dock in somebody's backyard. They were like, Sonia, you tried to walk off the dock. And I was like, I don't know.
holy shit.
I woke up on so I threw up in someone's front yard and then I woke up on a couch.
Had a Diet Coke and almost walk the plank.
Yes. Seriously, right in the Delaware. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like to talk about weird foods and stuff that people get into, like fun snacks and stuff, but I only have like 6 minutes left. You think
Hmm.
you want to try to go for a third segment or you want to just I don't know, because I hate to get wrapped up in a conversation and then be like, oh shit, I have to do a third segment for 2 minutes, or I could just
Yeah,
stop it now and restart it and edit it.
trying to think. I'm trying to think if I have any good good foods or good snacks. Like
Just
just like
like
a
weird, I like weird combos, like weird, taste flavors together. You boys are so hard to get to think outside the box on this because most of you, but even just like, oh, I like to eat a handful of cheese and then a handful of Skittles. Like, you know what I mean?
okay.
Something that might make a person go like, ew, or weird, or, but gross in a good way. I like salty sweet stuff. I like,
Here's a food thing that everybody fights me on
okay,
that I don't know how you'll feel about this. Most people really have a visceral reaction. Bacon, egg, and cheese.
sure.
That's what people get.
Yeah.
I go no cheese. So I order bacon, egg, no cheese. Every single time I go bacon, egg, no cheese. The person goes no cheese. I go no cheese. They always give me
They
cheese.
always give you cheese.
I think they get back there and they're like, this guy
What is
obviously meant to say cheese. Has he ever had cheese before? I don't like cheese. Fucking sue me. I don't like cheese on my eggs. Call me crazy.
Okay, I like that because it's like something, it's normal that normal people usually like and you don't. So that's a good one because like my grandma likes steak sandwiches, not a cheesesteak. Do you put cheese
Yeah.
on your cheesesteak?
I'm with her on that one. I
Okay.
like the cheese on it, but I don't mind it
You
without.
don't care. Okay. What
But
about
I tell people that and they're like, what? No
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah,
No
it's
cheese.
pretty wild. What about a hamburger? I used to have a date a guy that would only eat hamburger, not cheeseburger.
I like a cheeseburger now, but when I was younger, I used to say, and my whole family makes fun of me, and I was like 5 years old, so
His
it's
whole
like,
family made fun of him. Yeah.
yeah. But I would say, can I have a cheeseburger without the cheese? Because I didn't know that there was such thing as a hamburger. Again, I was 5, so cut me some
Oh.
fuck back. We still give me shit for it. But now I like a cheeseburger. When I was younger, I was strictly hamburger.
Okay. I wonder if that's like a thing because he was the same way. His mom said he would like gag himself over like a plain if he had to eat like a cheeseburger instead of a plain hamburger. It would be like,
Certain things I just didn't love. Like I like cheese. I like, cheese board. I like
sure.
ham and cheese sandwich.
Okay.
But some things I'm like, I just would prefer no cheese on.
You don't like melty as much? You don't like the melty kind in there? Or like what is
A
it?
lot
We
of
have to
times I
dissect
don't
this now.
I think it is the melty a lot of times, but now I'm a lot more flexible now. As an old man, I don't give as much of
Okay.
a fuck.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah,
For the sake of humanity.
yeah,
Um, do you put anything else on the bacon egg? I didn't say cheese. The bacon egg.
no,
Um,
just
no
bacon,
ketchup, just bacon
egg,
and egg.
no ketchup, just plain Jane.
It's plain. It's plain.
Very,
It's not weird. It's okay because it's not weird. I
yeah,
don't
very plain.
what's your late night snack go to?
My late night snack go to is I will go puff lately. Like I'll start crushing wine at night, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get go puff, and I immediately regret it. And I'll get Reese's sticks or I'll get ice cream, and it fucks me up for the whole next day. And then I wake up, I'm like, why did I do that? But I can't help myself. Or Munchos, the chips, Munchos. I love them.
Oh, I haven't had those in a while, but every once in a while, those are really good.
They're so good.
I don't think I've ever dipped them in anything.
I've never dipped them in anything, but just they're a throwback for me. I love some Munchos.
I feel like it is a throwback. It like
Yeah,
makes
the
me think of
throwback.
going on a class trip to like the Franklin Institute or something for some reason.
Yeah, they're so good. Give them a shot tonight. You
No, I
get
now I'm gonna go to Wawa as soon as we hang up.
Go to Wawa and get some Munchos. You won't regret it.
I'm not gonna. It's gonna be so good because I don't feel like cooking dinner after this for sure. I don't think I have anything anyway, so I might have to do a Wawa run. Now I want a ham and cheese. I don't even eat pork really.
Yeah, do it
that
up.
that used to be my go-to on a junior shorty roll or whatever it's called, like the little one. Junior,
Yeah.
right? It was like ham and cheese with mustard, pickles, spicy mustard, pickles, and sometimes cucumbers. I like
Oh my God, that's a
cucumbers.
lot. That's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. I know. I like the coolness of the cucumbers.
Yeah.
All right, look, we have a minute and 30 left. So it's been wonderful talking to you. If you would like to continue, we could try another session or I can wrap it up. My people like when I go over an hour and a half most of the time, my listeners, but
I would say yes because I love talking to you, but I got to run down and help out with the baby before I get in trouble.
go take care of the baby.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I'll see you around. Take it easy.
All right, thanks, Sonia.
All right, bye.